6 aspects of health. Every week, we share tips to improve your physical, intellectual, social, financial, spiritual, and mental health. Today, we are focusing on improving your mental health and the topic of lust. Should be a good one. We've got 3 awesome guests on here to give us some of their advice on how to improve your mental health regarding lust. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there is something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. We are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest version of themselves they can possibly be. In the spirit of authenticity, we don't talk about tips or advice backstage. We talk about the show and the logistics, and the guests now are going to share their advice to you as well as me, all in real time about their own life journeys. I'm super excited to see what they have to say about this topic. Audience, this is an interactive show. Please, please, please comment, ask questions. We ask them live. It's crazy, I know, but we love to hear from you right then and there. Audience or anyone watching this, if you want to be a guest, we love new guests. We're always looking for guests that have a little piece of advice to share. Please, the link is being dropped right now. Sign up, be a guest, come share your knowledge with the world. Let's all grow. If you have a topic you're struggling with, maybe you're financially a little struggling, maybe you're lost and spiritually you're without a purpose, let us know your topic. We'll go out, we'll find 3 awesome guests and find some advice for you as well. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, send stars, whatever it is, wherever you're watching us, and help us keep going. I'd like to take this second to do a little shout out for some of our followers in just a second. This episode is sponsored by our awesome sponsors. We love them. Can't do the show without them. First, we have Craig Sokofsky, a human behaviorist and mentor helping entrepreneurs discover their true identity, purpose, and achieve growth in business and life. Second, we have Sarah Jones, who is crazy awesome, was buried in debt, hapless marriage, life looks so bleak, decided to erase everything she knew, focus on learning it, and now she is financially fit, living in an RV with her husband, traveling the U.S. Actually, it's more than an RV. You should see their setup. They have like cars and bikes and 75 feet of awesomeness. And now she teaches others how to do the same. Our next sponsor is Cam Knight, a strategic thinker who turned career uncertainty, also being a little lost, into a path of mastery, got laid off, took an exam, and discovered that intelligence is a skill, not a gift. Now his mission is to empower others with tools to learn faster, think sharper, and achieve even more. And our final sponsor for this episode, thank you so much, is Jeremy Roderick, author of Lead Like a King and a coach to dads who refuse to settle for a life of frustration and resentment. He helps you avoid the giant D word, divorce, and become the loving, happy father and husband that you know you can be. Quick shout out for some of our followers on Facebook: Savani Asaya, Instagram, Eve, the Conscious Leader, TikTok, Hickolis, and YouTube, Dr. Mary. Thank you so much for following. If you want to be shout out, all you got to do is follow us. Dun, dun, dun. Another huge announcement. We now have merchandise. I know a lot of you have wanted our shirts and mugs and calendars. Links being dropped right now. You can check them out. And without further ado, I think the time has come that we bring out our first guest and talk about how to improve your mental health with lust. Please welcome Lady J. Lady J, who are you?
I am a newly published author of The Unexpected Stranger by Lady J. I'm a wife, mother, caregiver, and entrepreneur. I'm in the process of becoming a certified life coach, and I'm also writing my second book. My book sheds light on mental health, understanding diagnosis, seeking help, and supporting loved ones so they can have a fulfilling life. Poor mental health doesn't just affect one person, it impacts entire families. But yet, many of us don't even get recognized where we're struggling. My book opens that up.
How long ago did you write your book, Lady J?
I came out with it in November of
Ooh.
last year. Yes. Took me about, I guess maybe just a few months to write it. I started in January last year, came out
Okay.
with it in November.
And it's just a culmination of all your knowledge.
Yes. We wonder why we go through things, but who
Ooh,
knew that I was going to become a writer?
I'm glad you did. Lady J, I've got a pretty important question for you.
Okay.
If I wanted to improve my mental health regarding lust, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Be aware that you even have lust. Lust is a part of mental health. It challenges you so that you can get the help and support that is needing to live a fulfilling life.
All right, be aware. So, what are there tools or tactics you do to help you stay more aware of lust?
Absolutely. After you are aware that you have it emotionally, psychologically, and as a social being, social being, sorry, you have to have faith, prayer, and therapy to really kind of help you out in these areas. You can't do it alone.
And where on your life journey did you learn your tip?
By living the journey, by friends, family, you know, looking up, doing research on YouTube, because when I saw certain diagnosis or things or behaviors that was happening that I felt was not normal, I started doing some research, and that's basically how I found out on my journey. Then I learned how to deal with it.
Awesome. All right, Lady J, we'll move on to our next guest and we'll bring you out for the round robin and get some more insight from you.
Sounds good.
Next up, we have Kate. Kate, tell us, who are you?
Good morning. It's fabulous to be here. I'm Kate Porter, the midlife metamorphosis coach, helping women aged 40 plus transform from feeling invisible, stagnant, to feeling invincible. And I'm also host of Midlife Unlimited, the podcast for women who want more, where I'm joined each week by a fabulous female guest to smash stereotypes, bust myths, rip off that mask, and tell midlife how it really is. Nothing's off
Ooh,
limits.
all right. I love it, Kate. Kate, I have a question for you regarding all of
Mhm.
that. If I wanted to improve my mental health regarding lust, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Well, I'm all about helping women and men as well unleash our lust for life. So it's a
Okay.
positive spin. The first way to do this, is to take back our power by ditching the shoulds.
Tell me more about that.
Shoulds are other people's thoughts that have got into our heads that our inner critic picks up and says, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. So I've got a simple exercise for all the viewers. If you hear yourself saying, I should be doing this, ask,
Ooh.
is it a must? Does it align with my values? If it isn't a must, kick it out. If it is a must, put a plan into place, or if possible, do it straight away. So put a time bound, etc., smart goal in place to get it done as soon as possible. If it's not a must, get rid of that should.
I like that. All right. Almost like a fuck yes or no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kate, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Well, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So
Ah,
this has been a huge part of my own midlife metamorphosis. And it's such a powerful but simple exercise. So obviously I use it a lot in my coaching, but I think we can all benefit from, I mean, how often do you say, "Oh, I really should be doing this. I really should be doing that." But when we stop and think, why? Why are we saying we should be doing it? If we really should, do it. If not,
cut it out. Awesome. Awesome, Kate. Well, thank you so much. We'll move on to our next guest and we'll bring you out for the round robin. Next up, we have Shanti. Shanti,
Hey,
tell
hey.
us, who are you?
I am Shanti Refuge. I'm a master certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, keynote speaker, and author of the best selling book, Quiet as Kept. And I help people who have been through it. And when I say it, it's people tired of pretending to be okay when they're not. I help them to get unstuck by using guided journaling. I'm not here to fix people because that's not my job, but I'm here to remind them that they are never broken to begin with.
Ooh, all right, I like that. Awesome, Shanti. I got a question for
Yes.
you. If I wanted to improve my mental health regarding lust, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Start by building a sensual relationship with yourself without shame, without guilt, and
Ooh,
without needing an audience.
without needing an audience. Okay, tell us more about that.
Well, lust isn't just about sex. That's not what lust is about. It's about desire. It's about craving something and giving yourself permission to lean into that. And the problem is many of us were taught to disconnect from our bodies and to ignore what feels good and to deny our pleasure unless it's pleasing someone else. So I want people to understand that tapping into lust can actually be a healing practice. And when you reconnect with your body, your breath, your voice, you start coming back to you and you stop outsourcing your validation, so to speak. And you stop performing intimacy and start experiencing it. And you, even if it's just you and a reflection in your mirror, that's a different kind of connection.
Interesting. All right. Where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Ooh, so I had after my divorce, I realized that I didn't even know what turned me on mentally, emotionally, or physically. So I had spent so much time trying to be what somebody else needed and trying to be low maintenance, trying to be enough, and trying not to ask for too much that I had completely silenced my own desires. And again, it's not about sex. I'm talking about like little things, wanting to be touched softly, wanting to laugh deeply, wanting to feel beautiful without needing approval. I lost my collection to my own self. And so journaling helped me to listen to me again and to, discover, what I needed for myself, what I wanted, what I needed, what kind of intimacy I wanted, and could I give it to myself? And so when I started doing things like, getting in the mirror naked as hell, and exploring, looking, loving, putting oil on, and just being
Right.
present instead of rushing through a routine. That was a beautiful experience for me because I realized how long it's been since I let myself feel good just for me. And so that's
Ooh.
when it clicked. It's like lust, when it's grounded in healing, it isn't reckless, it's restorative.
Let's we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Try not to make it personal, but
Okay.
so let's say, so did that become part of your daily routine? Is like after a shower, you'd look in the mirror and start just like enjoying parts of your body,
Yeah.
rubbing oil a little bit and just
Yeah.
start slowly liking little bits. And maybe if you don't like a part of it, you start working on that more or something of that sort.
Exactly. Look in the mirror, say affirmations to myself while, just this is our bodies. We were given this. We have to appreciate our bodies. We can't expect someone else to appreciate us in physical form if we don't appreciate ourselves. So it's important that we start with us. We have to do that inner work for our outer self. It's all about us. It's not about anybody else.
So it's kind of like when the dudes, flex their elbow and give a little muscle and then looking in
That's
there
not for
going, yeah,
y'all.
this is
That's for
growing.
him. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, Shanti, I think we're gonna bring everyone out here and start the round robin. I think we've got
All
a lot to
right.
discuss, right? Audience, this is a great time for you to ask questions. We will answer them out loud. We're gonna bring Lady J and Kate out here. Let's let's see what we got here. Lady J, do you wanna quickly refresh what your tip was?
Well, my tip basically was um, be aware that you have lust mental health, right? Challenges. We got to know what's going on so you can get the care and support that's needed. Because if you're just going through life, you know something is kind of off balance. but we're not doing anything about it. And I like it when you have to be more aware, getting to know yourself.
I love it. All right, Kate, what are your thoughts on her tip?
Absolutely, I'm all about self-awareness, and as Shaunti was saying as well, it's all about self-worth and valuing ourselves.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
the negative
Hmm.
connotations is obviously I span lust into a positive thing, lust for life, but there are a lot of negative connotations to lust about low self-worth and almost filling that feeling of that void of emptiness. What you're doing
Yes.
it's almost to please others rather than yourself. It
Yes.
can be very draining. So I think by self-worth, valuing ourselves, putting ourselves up there and saying, "Yeah,
Ye-
we're great."
Yes.
Yes.
Shanti, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I believe she's absolutely correct because mental health isn't just about anxiety and depression. It's way more
Mhm.
than that. It's about being whole, and lust is a part of that. And lust in the form of desire, passion, craving, longing, that's real. And we're human, so we were wired to want and to feel pleasure and to crave connection and intimacy and physical touch.
Yes.
But when our mental health is struggling, when we're burnt out, disconnected, in survival mode, lust is usually one of the first things to go. Like, right? So when you depressed, you ain't trying to lust.
Mhm.
So it again is not about sexual desire, but desire for life, for joy, for touch, for beauty, for more. So she is absolutely correct in what
Yeah.
she said.
Love it. Well done. All right, guys, let's talk about a big topic here. What is the difference between lust and love?
Mm.
I think love.
I'm going
I
to start with you, Shanti. Shanti talked about lusting herself and touch and looking at herself
Yes.
and lust. Where is
Yes.
the difference between self love and self lust?
Well, lust is the spark, and love is the sustained
Ooh,
fire. And both can
okay.
be beautiful. They both are valid, but they aren't the same thing. So, lust is physical and instant, it's surface level attraction, the I want you right now energy, and it's fueled by chemistry, curiosity,
Mhm.
hormones,
Mhm.
and how someone makes you feel in the moment. It's fast paced and sometimes it can be impulsive or it can be fantasy based and you're more into the idea of a person, and lust can leave as quickly as it came, and it lives in our body. It's heat, craving, obsession, is dopamine, not devotion. But on the other hand, love is emotional and spiritual connection, and it grows over time with consistency. It's that I see you even on your bad days energy. Love is rooted in care, commitment, respect, and it's about how you show up when things ain't sexy, because things ain't sexy all the
Mhm.
time. It's steady, it's grounding, it's safe, it's based in reality. And you know their flaws and you still choose them. That's love. And it doesn't always feel like fireworks, but it holds you down. So, love lives in the soul. Love is a choice. It's, depth, safety, it's peace and not just passion.
Mhm.
Fascinating, fascinating. Kate, I think you were going to say
Well, no,
something.
and build absolutely totally agree. And building from that as well, I think lust can have very selfish connotations, but
Yeah.
not necessarily in a self-care way. They're
Mhm.
not in a way that
Yes.
actually will nurture us. Whereas love brings with it, as you said, that extra layer of connection and
Mhm.
emotional, not dependency, but getting each other. And the two can come together,
Mm-hmm.
but they can very much
Yeah.
live independently as well, I think.
Yes.
Lady J, what are your
I tell
thoughts?
you, these two beautiful ladies pretty much summed it all up because all what I was going to say, they kind of said it right. I was going to talk about the lust and dopamine, the mental health impact, being out of balance, which gives you anxiety, depression, self worth, of relationship struggles, right? Then you have to have healthy boundaries with it. with that, which involves that self-awareness, emotional discipline, and mindful choices, right? It is about us first, because how can you be good for anybody else if you're not whole? So we always have to start with
Absolutely.
ourselves first, then be able to branch out and
Hmm.
be able to help somebody else. Stop playing the blame game. Don't put it on everybody else. Put it on yourself,
Yes.
Oh
right?
man,
That's
wise words there, Lady J. Man.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's get a little deeper. You said something very interesting, Lady J, about dopamine and
yes.
lust. So that essentially, you know, leads us to, like, I guess let's go with hookup culture, right? You like the
Mm.
dopamine rush. It's not really that great for your mental health in the long run. Anyone want to talk about dopamine, hookup culture, something about that type of lust?
Ooh, I haven't hooked up in years.
Self
Well,
lust, baby. Turn it
basically,
into self
let's talk
love.
about what lust does, right? And I know Shanti really hit on this. Lust triggers the brain's reward system. It
Mm.
releases dopamine,
Mhm.
right? That feel good chemical. While this can be exciting, chastening the lustful desires excessively, it can lead to impulsivity, which is addiction like behaviors, or emotional distress when these
Yeah.
desires are fulfilled. So you're constantly trying to ride to something that, if you had that high down here, we're constantly trying to get that high. And sometimes that first high, you can't get that back. So it becomes an addiction.
And I think it
Hmm.
also brings in, like you said, that high and low. So you get that sense
Yeah.
of being unfulfilled again, which makes you have to go
Hmm.
out and chase it. But also it brings with it guilt as well in a lot of cases,
True.
because having taken this action that doesn't necessarily align with the true you, but you think you're feeling
Hmm.
you need this for whatever reason, that you're lacking low self-esteem or whatever, the guilt that can come afterwards can make you feel even worse than you did to start
Yeah.
with. So it's like, was it worth
Hmm.
it?
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Always chasing those dopamine rushes. Kate, did we go over your tip?
Well, mine was I like the way you put it, quite straightforward and to the point. Ditch the shoulds if you want to take back your power and unleash your lust for life again. Because a lot of the women I work with in midlife, we've put ourselves on the back burner for so long that we've forgotten what we actually want, really. So it's that question of if you hear yourself saying, I should be doing XYZ, stop and think, should I really be doing this?
Hmm.
Is it someone else's voice in my head? If it is, kick it out. If it is something that's a must, do it. Do it as soon as you can. Put a smart plan in place to do it and get it
Yes.
done. If not, be gone.
Love it.
Lady J, what are your thoughts on that
Hey,
tip?
I think it is an excellent tip. We have lust, but sometimes it is not driven in the right direction. Again, be aware and shift it to more
Yeah.
positivity, right? That's what we need. Healthy balances, healthy boundaries,
Yes.
right? We got to have that self awareness, emotional discipline, mindful choices, especially in relationships. How many of us, not even in relationship ourselves? Shantae mentioned being in the mirror. Some of us can't even look in the mirror. If you're
Yeah.
dissatisfied, do something about it. You don't like the way your body looks, do
Yeah.
something about it. You have acne all over your face, go do
Exactly.
something about it. Get to the point where as you can
Hmm.
get that self-love in, and then you can move on with life.
Yep.
Shanti, what are your thoughts on Kate's tip?
She's spot
Yeah.
on. Absolutely spot on. We have to drown out the noise,
Hmm.
filter through that noise, whether it's voice in our head or society, social media, especially telling us,
Yes.
how we should look, how we should feel. Drown that out. This is your life. You're only given one, and you have to live it to your fullest capability. And you can't do that by listening to what other people say you should be doing, should be feeling, and all that stuff. No, this is you. And it starts with you, building a relationship with yourself. And that's including, loving yourself, being aware of your needs and wants, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like you said, if you don't like something, go fix it.
Hmm.
I don't like my hair. I went and got a wig. So it's like, you know things like that. I'm not doing it for anybody else, I'm doing it for me. And
Yeah,
that's what a lot of people need to get down to. Do it for you, not for anybody else, or not even your spouse. I hear a lot of women saying that, oh, I have to look good for my spouse. No, what the hell, you don't. You look good for yourself first.
absolutely.
You look good for yourself, not for anybody else. I don't care who you're sleeping with, laying with, lusting after. Look good for yourself. Do it for yourself. Lust after yourself in a positive way,
Yes.
Absolutely. No.
Love
though.
it.
All right, guys, we've gotten to the point in our show where we got to come up with a daily challenge. So we need to come up with a task or series of tasks that takes less than 5 minutes a
Okay.
day, costs $0, is available to anyone in the world from Japan to London, that helps us improve our mental
Mm.
health with regarding lust. What ideas do you have?
Shall
Well,
I
I'll
jump in? No,
start.
Lady Jane. Yeah.
Okay. I came up with 7-day embrace the unexpected challenge or
Mm.
mental health
Ooh.
challenge, right?
Ooh.
Day one, reflect on a past challenge and lesson learned. So that means you're going to journal. Take out a journal.
Yes.
You never know how far
Yes.
that you can go with a journal and see how far that you progress. Day two, list 3 things that you're grateful for. Each day
Mhm.
takes less than 5 minutes. Day
Yeah.
three, take a 5 minutes to breathe and reset. We don't understand how much breathing can really help our bodies, giving more oxygen to the body. It helps relax your body when it's stressful. Day four, show kindness to yourself and someone else. Day five, let go of one negative thought. Sometimes we can get up thinking negative. Learn to be aware and shift that. You
Yes.
know, Day
Hmm.
six, read or listen to something uplifting that you can
Hmm.
hold on to that's going to take your day, right? Number seven, set one goal for the week ahead. Set one goal because what you're always going through something positive, right? I want to set because hey, I want to go out of town if it's number 4 day, or I want to take a spa day, or I want to do this here. Take a goal and do it.
Yep. Love that.
All right, other ideas. We do gratitude and journaling quite a bit on
Oh,
this
good.
show. I like to think of a past
Yeah.
challenge you had and how you solved it. That's an
Hmm.
interesting one. I, I would like to tie that more into lust. Any other ideas on how to improve mental health with lust on a daily challenge? Shanti or Kate
Yeah,
or
I
Lady J?
have one. It's called, and this is what I do. It's called Mirror and Moan. So what it is, every day in the week, you spend 2 to 5 minutes in front of a mirror. Look yourself in
Okay.
the eyes. Like, give yourself eye to eye contact. And then touch your skin, your face, your arms, whatever feels comfortable. Because a lot of people don't even like touching their bodies,
Too
and this
bad.
is your opportunity to touch it's your body. Say something you actually believe about yourself or you want to believe. So affirmations, you could say, my body is not too much, I deserve to feel good, because you do. I'm allowed to want what I want, and you are. And so, this might sound crazy, but let yourself hum or moan when you are touching yourself, not to be sexy but to be present.
Right.
Sound brings you back to your body. So most of us are walking around holding our breath all day and don't even realize it. So this challenge
Mhm.
is about being loud enough to hear yourself living.
Love it.
Mm.
And I'm gonna take some of Lady J's in there, and while you're doing your self affirmations, one of them is gonna have to be thinking and talking about a challenge you overcame in the past week.
Yes.
Yes.
So when you're naked after you shower, you're looking at yourself, complimenting yourself, touching yourself, and thinking about things that you've overcome over the past week. Kate, you got any tiny little
Well, I
bits to
think
add
while
to
we're doing
that?
all this, while we're naked in front of the mirror and we're doing our affirmations, I'd like to bring it all down to one thing that
Okay.
will help unleash our lust for life. And we talk about millionaires knowing our why, because that
Yeah.
is so important.
Yes, it
And
is.
we hear so much about, oh, I want to earn this amount, I want to earn that amount. Yes, it would be fantastic. And I'm sure some of you do have all those noughts after a one or a two or a three in your bank account. But why do you want it? You don't just want it to look at your bank account. What what is it that will motivate you? What will it bring to your life? Is it that you'll be able to spend more time with loved ones? How will it give that lust for life, that zest, that joy that we all deserve? Self-worth. So know your why every day. Remind yourself while
Yeah.
you're looking in the mirror, look,
Yes.
touching and appreciating.
Cool. I like
Yeah.
adding that. Why did I wake up today? What am I
Mhm.
going to do
Yeah.
today? Why am I here? I like
Yeah.
that.
Because you have a
Awesome.
purpose
Well,
every day.
that's going to be yeah, that's a fun, unique little daily challenge. I
Yes.
like it. All right. So if you don't shower every day, I
You
guess
better
you
start.
got to either start showering every day, or at least you got to be naked in the bathroom once a day. All right.
Right?
You're going to have to go in and yeah, that sounds fun. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we came and we did our job. We got our daily challenge and answered some questions. Thank you all so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
We're gonna wrap the show up now. Good having you, Lady
Thank you.
J and Kate and
Thank you.
Shanti. And huge thank you to all of our viewers. Hopefully, you guys learned a little bit about lust and the difference between self lust and self. I do not know. Sorry. And self love. We got an awesome daily challenge. Get naked, stand in the mirror, do some affirmations, some things you truly believe. Think about why you got out of bed this morning, and think about a challenge you